Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Gears Tactics. So I forgot this game existed, thank you for pointing that out in the comments. It was easy to get with Game Pass, so if you want to play it as cheap as possible, just get a month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and you can play it on the Windows 10 store, if you're into that. If not, you can also purchase it on Steam, but that doesn't work if you use Game Pass. It's like Gears of War mixed with XCOM, and it works surprisingly well. It's actually a lot of fun. The options menu is very similar to Gears of War 5, there might be a few options that are not here, but it has tons of them, so let's get through them. We got a minimum and maximum frame rate option. The maximum frame rate option is just a frame rate cap, and the minimum frame rate is for the dynamic resolution. So if you put 60 or 30 on the minimum frame rate, the game will dynamically adjust the resolution, trying to maintain that frame rate that you set on the minimum. Personally, I didn't need to use it on most of the cards I tested. But if you want to, I don't know, maybe on a lower end GPU use high settings on 1080p, maybe using the minimum frame rate option is useful. Then we got the texture options. You can tweak character, world, effects, and the texture streaming option. I recommend keeping that on ultra if you have a 4GB GPU. If you got a 2GB GPU, use medium on all of them. Then on the environment part, you can control the reflections, volumetric fog, world detail, and the dynamic shadows. The most demanding options here, at least in my experience, were first dynamic shadows and shadow resolution. Those two make the biggest difference by going from the highest to high or medium. Then the contact shadows will also make a difference, but it's not as huge. And then lower screen space reflections and world detail. That's how I got a performance boost very easily. Then in the post-process video options, you got depth of field, motion blur, anti-aliasing, bloom, ambient occlusion, subsurface scattering, and if you want a quick performance boost, lower ambient occlusion and disable the depth of field on the gameplay part, since it can be quite taxing, especially when the camera perspective changes, when you're not controlling the game in those moments, so it's up to you. On the anti-aliasing part, you got performance, balanced, and best. I recommend keeping it on best. It's not really a big performance difference, and it's temporal anti-aliasing. It seems to be forced on, so apparently you cannot disable it, which is unfortunate. And finally, in the advanced tab, you can select which GPU to use, which in general doesn't matter that much unless you have two graphics cards or you want to use your iGPU for some reason. We also have a mesh complexity option that didn't make much of a performance difference to me. And then we get the async compute option that cards before the 10 series from Nvidia won't support, the async compute option. And then we also have the tiled resources thing. For some reason the textures just take longer to load. If you run into that the textures take a while to get to the maximum quality, disable the tiled resources option. That should fix it up. At least that's how it was in my experience. And due to the fact that this game is a turn-based thing, you don't have any manual aiming options, and you don't need any twitch reflexes like a third or first person shooter. My target was to be over 30 frames per second. I don't think 60 frames per second is absolutely necessary, but if you want to do it, just follow the guide I just told you, which options to lower for the best performance. But yeah guys, that's about it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Wrong frag! Out of commission. Keeping watch. Reload! You got it.
Comms truck ahead. We want to find the rest of Echo 5. That's where we start looking.
Kicking up dirt.
Grubs are still here. Take them out.
Should have left when you had the chance, assholes. Uh-huh. Kill zone established.
Grubs are on the move.
Might want to rethink that. Time to make a move!
Scanning now.
Uh-huh.
Moving to position. Okay. On it. Enemy movement! Surprise!
They never learn. I'm out! All right, snap to it.
Headed out. Comms truck ahead. We want to find the rest of Echo 5. That's where we start looking.
Good to go. On it. I'm better than this.
Frag out! Who's next? Eyes peeled. Grubs are on the move!
Not your lucky day. Target is down. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Orders. Ah! No quit. 2 for 1. Last round.
Out of ammo! Only one more!
Yeah, show him.
How's that?
On it. Orders.
Yep. Grubs are on the move!
I see you. Showtime, people.
Scanning now.
Almost out. All right, grubs. I'm listening. You got it.
Yeah.
Comms truck ahead. We want to find the rest of Echo 5. That's where we start looking.
Dig in. Here they come. They're in my sights. to go! Acknowledged. Fully loaded! Affirmative! Orders?
Go ahead. Setting up a perimeter.
Proceeding on foot. One shot left.
Got you now.
Wreck one word.
Need a reload soon! Ready or not, scumbags.
On the lookout.
Ready. On my way. Frag going out. Back in your hole.
Yep.
Let's see what they got.
I'm impressed.
Grubs caught these gears by surprise. We'll bring their tags home at least.
One dead grub. Scanning now.
Here comes trouble. Grubs, 12 o'clock.